What if I told you that 97% of car owners are slowly destroying their engines every single oil change? Not because they're using bad oil, but because they're missing 5 critical steps that take literally minutes but can add decades to your engine's life. I'm about to show you the exact process I've used for 20 years to keep vehicles running past 400,000 miles, including the 30-second step that most people skip that causes more engine damage than driving with old oil. And if you stick around to the end, I'll reveal the $12 upgrade that's basically insurance for your engine. But first, hit that subscribe button. 73% of people who watch our videos aren't subscribed, and you don't want to miss the follow-up video where I show you how to diagnose engine problems just by looking at your oil. The foundation: why most oil changes fail. Here's what happens inside your engine every single day. Your oil doesn't just sit there. It's working harder than a marathon runner. It's lubricating thousands of metal parts, moving at incredible speeds, absorbing heat that could literally melt steel, and trapping microscopic debris that would otherwise destroy your engine. But here's the problem most people don't understand. Oil doesn't just get dirty and need replacing, it chemically breaks down. The molecules literally fall apart under pressure and heat. The average driver changes their oil every 7,500 miles and thinks they're being responsible, but they're making 3 critical mistakes that are costing them thousands. They drain cold oil, leaving 15 to 20% of contaminated oil behind. They ignore the pre-filter step, causing dry starts every time. They use the wrong oil specification for their driving conditions. I've torn down hundreds of engines, and I can tell you exactly how each vehicle was maintained just by looking inside. Want to see what 100,000 miles of regular oil changes looks like versus the method I'm about to show you? All right, let's get our hands dirty. Here's the exact process that separates amateur oil changes from professional grade maintenance. I'm going to walk you through each step, explain why it matters, and show you the mistakes that even some quick lube shops make. Step 1, the warm-up ritual. First rule, never, and I mean never, change cold oil. Run your engine for exactly 5 to 7 minutes, long enough to warm the oil, but not so long that everything's dangerously hot. Why? Warm oil is like honey versus maple syrup. It flows faster, carries more contaminants with it, and leaves less residue behind. This single step removes 25% more contaminated oil than a cold drain. Step 2, the pre-drain inspection. Before you touch anything, get under there with a flashlight and look around. Check for oil leaks, obviously, damaged drain plug or oil pan, previous mechanics' mistakes like stripped threads. Here's a pro tip most people miss. Look at your drain plug when you remove it. See those metal shavings? That's normal wear, but if there's much more than last time, your engine's trying to tell you something. Step 3, the critical drain technique. Position your drain pan slightly off-center toward the front of the car. Why? Because when you first remove the plug, oil shoots out in an arc, then changes direction as the flow slows down. And here's where most people screw up. They drain for maybe 5 minutes and call it good. You need 15 minimum. I like to clean up other things while it's draining. Now here's the secret sauce. Once the main flow stops, add about half a quart of fresh oil through the filler cap. Let it run through and drain out. This pushes out that last bit of contaminated oil hiding in passages and corners. Step 4, the filter game changer. Oil filters aren't just oil filters, they're the kidneys of your engine, but most people treat them like an afterthought. First, filter quality matters more than you think. A cheap filter has maybe 5,000 square inches of filter media. A premium filter, over 12,000. That's more than double the filtering capacity. Before installing the new filter, wipe the mounting surface clean and check for the old rubber gasket. I've seen double gasket installations that dumped all the oil in the first 30 seconds. Coat the new gasket with a thin layer of oil, install hand tight, then just 3/4 turn more with a filter wrench. Over-tightening crushes the gasket and guarantees leaks. Step 5, the refill strategy. Here's where patience pays off. Start with about 75% of the recommended oil capacity. Check the level, add a little more, check again. Why not fill it all at once? Because oil takes time to settle in. Add too much too fast and you'll overfill. Overfilled oil gets whipped into foam by the crankshaft and foam doesn't lubricate. Step 6, the startup sequence. Start the engine and watch your oil pressure gauge or warning light. It should build pressure within 5 to 10 seconds. If it takes longer, shut it down immediately. You might have a problem. Let it idle for about 2 minutes, then shut it off and wait another 5 minutes. Check the level again and top off if needed. This is normal. The new filter holds oil too. Step 7, the final inspection. Take a final look under the car for leaks. A few drops are normal for the first day as residual oil on threads and gaskets works its way out, but if you're seeing steady drips, something's wrong. Write down the date, mileage, oil type, and filter brand on a sticker and put it somewhere you'll see it. Your future self will thank you. Choosing the right oil. It's more complex than you think. Now let's talk about what actually goes in your engine, because this is where most people either save money in the wrong place or waste money on unnecessary upgrades. The viscosity decode. When you see 5W30, here's what it actually means. The 5W is how thick the oil is cold. W stands for winter. Lower numbers flow better in cold weather. The 30 is the thickness when hot. Your engine was designed for specific oil thickness. Use thicker oil and you'll lose fuel economy and maybe damage seals. Use thinner oil and you won't get proper protection under load. Conventional versus synthetic. The truth. Here's what 20 years of engine teardowns has taught me. Synthetic oil isn't always worth the extra cost, but in 3 situations, it's absolutely critical. Turbo engines. The oil has to handle extreme heat from the turbocharger. Stop and go driving. Synthetic handles temperature swings better. Extended drain intervals. If you're going 7,500 plus miles between changes, regular oil starts breaking down around 240 degrees Fahrenheit. Full synthetic, it can handle 300 degrees plus. In a turbo engine, that difference prevents total oil breakdown. The high mileage decision. Once you hit 100,000 miles, high mileage oil isn't just marketing. It contains seal conditioners that can actually restore flexibility to aging rubber seals and reduce leaks. But here's the catch. If your engine doesn't leak now, regular oil is fine. High mileage oil is insurance, not a requirement. Advanced tips that separate pros from amateurs. The magnetic drain plug upgrade. For about $15, you can upgrade to a magnetic drain plug that collects metal particles as they circulate through your oil. It's like an early warning system for engine problems. Normal wear creates fine metal dust. But if you start seeing larger particles or significantly more buildup, you're getting advanced notice of bearing or internal wear issues. The oil analysis game changer. Want to know exactly what's happening inside your engine? Oil analysis kits let you send a sample to a lab for about $30. You'll get a report showing wear metals, which parts are wearing, additive levels, how much life your oil has left, and contamination, fuel, coolant, dirt. This is what fleet managers use to prevent breakdowns. Now it's available for regular drivers. The cold weather protocol. If you live somewhere with real winter, your oil change strategy needs to adapt. Conventional oil turns to molasses below 0 degrees F. Even 5W oil can take 30 plus seconds to circulate. The solution is to either switch to 0W oil in winter or install a block heater. Most engine wear happens in the first 30 seconds after a cold start. The turbo cool down rule. If you drive a turbo car, never shut off the engine immediately after highway driving. The turbo can be spinning 100,000 RPM and needs oil circulation to cool down. Idle for 60 to 90 seconds or install a turbo timer. Troubleshooting when things go wrong. Even with perfect technique, problems can happen. Here's how to diagnose and fix the most common oil change issues. Leak diagnosis. Not all leaks are created equal. Small drops after oil change, normal, usually stops within 24 hours. Steady dripping, over-tightened or under-tightened drain plug. Large puddles, double gasket on filter, or severely damaged oil pan. Always check your old filter's gasket came off with it. If it's still stuck to the engine, you've got a guaranteed massive leak. Oil pressure problems. If your oil pressure warning light comes on after an oil change, check level immediately, you might be low. Look for leaks, something's draining fast. Wrong oil viscosity, too thick or too thin. Never drive with the oil pressure light on. It's not a suggestion, it's a countdown to engine destruction. The overfill fix. Overfilled oil creates foam, and foam doesn't lubricate. If you've overfilled, drain the excess immediately. Check for foam on the dipstick. If there's foam, consider changing the oil completely. The money-saving breakdown. Let's talk numbers, because doing this right actually saves money long-term. Cost per mile analysis. DIY premium method is $45 per change divided by 7,500 miles is 0.006 per mile. Quick Lube Standard is $35 per change divided by 5,000 miles, 0.07 per mile. Plus, better protection, longer engine life, and higher resale value. Factor in that proper maintenance can extend engine life from 150,000 to 300,000 plus miles, and you're looking at potentially avoiding an $8,000 to $12,000 engine replacement. The tool investment. One-time tool costs, quality drain pan, $25. Filter wrench set, $20. Funnel, $8. Jack and stands, $150. Magnetic drain plug, $15. Total initial investment, $218. Break-even point, about 6 oil changes. Here's the bottom line. Your engine is probably the most expensive single component in your vehicle. Treating oil changes like a quick chore instead of preventative maintenance is like ignoring chest pain because you're busy. If this video just saved you from a catastrophic engine failure, smash that like button and subscribe. We post new automotive content